Hi again, I am here to do part 2 of the setup of my Filofax. I already walked through the dashboard, the beginning part of my binder, which is all of the calendar planning parts, and now I'm going to walk through my second half. So if you haven't seen the first half of my video, check that out if you're interested, but the second half is a totally different type of section, so I kept them separate. In my last video, I was comparing my Filofax to my Erin Condren Planner, and before I start on here, I just want to reference one thing that I really do love about my Erin Condren Planner that I forgot to put in the last part of this video. So here's my Erin Condren Planner. In the very beginning, there's a section called Birthdays and Anniversaries, and it lists each day of every month, and in it, you are able to write down people's birthdays. And I really like this. I love how it's such a nice layout. It's easy to see, and then I can just, when I'm planning for the month, just look at it and write it in the month section. What I don't like about it is that it's in these spiral rings. So every year that I get a new planner, because these aren't, I mean, you can't take it out and then refill it. You have to buy a whole new one each year. I can't take these pages out and just put them in the new one. I have to rewrite it, and I like using my different pens, and it's kind of fun because I get to spend time with my planner, which sounds kind of corny, but I really do like doing that. But it's annoying that I have to do that, and it's time consuming when the whole point of a planner is to kind of save me time. So I took this and I implemented it into my Filofax. So that's that first part of my second section. So that's this date part, and as you can see, this is the first binder I tried to use the adjustable hole punch with, and it wasn't perfect, but that's why I put it last. So the date section. So the dates I have one of these anniversary and special occasions refills from Filofax, and what I do, I have two parts. I have a by month part and a by alphabet. The by month part is pretty much exactly like the Erin Condren. It just has January with the list of birthdays in January, February, so on. So I just split it up myself. The by alphabet part seems kind of like extra work and redundant, but it actually serves a purpose. So what I did was I categorized it by letter, and then I listed anybody with the first name that starts with A under here and their birthday, B, C, so on. And the reason I did this is because sometimes I am just curious when somebody's birthday is, or when an anniversary is, when I forget. And instead of having to go through and look through each and every month for the person's name, which I might gloss over, I can just go to the letter of the alphabet that theirs falls under. And what I absolutely adore about this is that I can take this out and then I'll use it again next year and the year after and so on. So that's why I left so much space, because I can add to these over the years and I never have to rewrite again unless all the papers get on fire or something crazy like that. But that would be only really an extreme case when I need to rewrite it all unless I wanted to. So that's the first part of the second half. The rest of this is kind of like, it's kind of like my brain on paper, I guess I could say. It's my tracker, lists, ideas, to do area. It's where I keep all the random thoughts that come into my head that I want to remember but never will on my own. So I have it listed into different categories. I have trackers and lists. I have ideas, house to do, because we just bought a house, or we're about to close on a house in about a month. And then passwords is pretty much what this is. But there's three main sections, I guess. So the trackers and lists includes things that I need to keep track of, and lists of things I want to do or try, stuff like that. So with my business, I have to keep track of my expenses, and I've been really bad at that. So now I just keep the date, the expense, and what types of things it was, what store it was at, and then the amount. So much easier than just keeping my receipts and trying to figure it out later. And I always have it with me, so I always will be able to write it down. I have mile tracker because I need to keep track of my miles for my photography business as well as nannying in the summer. So I write the odometer start value, the description of where I went, and the end value. Books I've read, what type they are, that kind of things. Books I want to read when I think of them. There's a lot I want to read, but I'm just going to kind of keep it to what I think of randomly. Movies, shows I want to watch, bucket list, new things I want to do that I hadn't thought of before, stores I want to try / go to, restaurants I want to try, and wish list. So that's all just things that I randomly think of, and now I have a place to put them so they don't kind of get lost into oblivion. And then I have my ideas section. So this is any part of my life that I have an idea about. So, for example, my husband and I are going to start a blog. So we have a little section on ideas for that blog. I have ideas for my business, ideas for my business's blog, marriage ideas. So that could be things like date nights we want to do, vacations we want to go to as a couple, rituals, traditions we want to start, anything like that. Travel ideas, cooking and health ideas, like workouts I want to try, recipes I want to try, diets, anything like that. Baby ideas. We don't have children yet, but I teach, so I think of a lot of ideas for when we have children. So I have lessons I want to teach them when we have a child or we get pregnant, some gender reveal ideas, and I'm sure this one will end up being quite a few pages. Lifestyle ideas, anything dealing with our lifestyle. Like I wrote switch to cloth napkins. Now that we are in a house, I want to try switching to cloth napkins. Okay, so that wraps up my little comparison of the Erin Condren Planner Life Planner to my Filofax. Overall, I would say a planner really is personal, and I love both products. I love them equally. I love them both for very different reasons. I love the Erin Condren Planner because it's fun, it's cute. You don't really have to think much about it, you just have it, it's all ready to go. And I like my Filofax because it's customizable, but it's not as cute from the start. And it's a lot more expensive down the road. But both have great pluses and minuses to them. I'm definitely going to stick with my Filofax. If you have any suggestions or questions about either planner or my setup or any of the accessories that I showed, please ask or say them in the comments. And I really look forward to hearing them, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay organized.